What's up, everybody? 3D Theory here. It's July 15th, 2024 at 7:07 a.m. and I'm just coming back here to pull off last night's prints. I didn't get a chance to start the third print of the day last night. These are going to finish at 10:45. I got super sleepy at around 9:45 and I needed some well-deserved rest. So only two yesterday, two sets, but it's all good. And it is currently 76.8 degrees Fahrenheit. In this room, I've got the fan running there, and nothing like a nice cup of joe in the morning. I'm just gonna take a look at the spools, make sure we've got enough. Yep, we're good there. But this one, I think, yeah, it's almost done, but I still think it'll be good for one more. Let's see down here. Oh yeah, these are pretty much brand new. So I've been really thinking about ways to utilize leftover spool box number 1 and leftover spool box number 2. And I do have a fifth A1 printer. It's with the mini AMS set. I haven't set it up yet. I'm trying to think of where I can set it up because I'm kind of out of space in here. But that printer, I can set up all the little leftover spools on the AMS. And once one finishes, it'll just jump to the other one. And then once that one finishes, jump to the other one, and that'll happen 4 times. I'm just curious to know if the AMS sets comes with this too. I'm not sure, but I'll have to check it out. And in that way, I can use up all the spools. That'd be really cool. I can wait until, for example, this one just completely finishes out and uses the entire spool. But sometimes I start a print and I gotta go do other things and I can't come back an hour later or 45 minutes later, and I don't really know when the spool actually finishes. So there's been times where I've tried that. I'll come back here 20 minutes later, there's still filament. I'll come back an hour and 20 minutes, there's still filament. And I'll come back 2 hours and 45 minutes later, and there's just one string of filament left on the spool, and at that point I just switch it out because I already came 3 times back here to check on it. So I think that AMS idea is a really good idea. Someone also had mentioned it in the comments in one of the videos, and it's like, you know what, it's actually a pretty good idea. I'll give it a go. I did end up getting the replacement bulb. In my last vlog, I opened the box. It's pretty easy to install. I just popped out the plate and then just replaced it. I kind of hooked it in the top and then brought it down here and just pressed it all over, and it clipped into place. It looks so cool with this little plastic bulb. It really just felt like something was missing when that bulb wasn't there. All right, well, nonetheless, let's get down to business. I'm going to take this one off. All right. There's just a little bit of those stringing things I was talking about. It's so minimal that I just use, again, those blue clippers and just clip it and it's all good. Yeah, this is awesome. Man, every time I take a look at these prints and I shine it into the light and I go, that is so clean. I love it. Man, that's great. All right, I'm gonna take this one off. This one's actually cleaner than that one. That's great. There's just one thing I did notice is that it has the seam there. I gotta look into how to take out a seam. It's not a problem at all. It's just for my own personal preference and how it looks like aesthetically. But I mean, I'd prefer it be on this side because this is the bottom side, but nonetheless, it's all good. It still functions perfectly. It still looks great. it just seems are always best hidden, you know. All right, now for these here, these have been getting really stuck on there, so I just end up using this and I just pop it out. Again, all good. It's just does a really good job of sticking on there. And I can still take it out with my hand. It makes it a little bit easier. Gorgeous. Awesome print. Beautiful. Wow, looks like we're getting full on these boxes. Almost there. I probably can fit about 3-4 more. So I think I'll probably wait to dump these boxes out until we got about 4 more completed. But again, just gorgeous. I noticed that one part of so these are supports. I got little holes here for screws. One part of the support always comes out in this corner, but it's okay. Again, I pop them out. It ends up being trash, those little supports. So it's no biggie. No biggie at all. And then, as you know, we got these little strings. So I like to, again, use these blue snippers. Someone had mentioned they'd like to use nails. That's a great idea. Problem is, I don't have nails. I mean, I have nails. I just don't keep long nails. And my nails don't do the trick. So I can try. Nah, I feel like it's gonna get to the skin. But for those who do have nails, it's a good method too. You can use your nails to take out those these little strings here. This test print. All right, that's good to go there. Yeah, it's such a simple thing to take out. It's doesn't require a lot of strength or anything like that. And lastly, I like to just give it a nice wipe. That little piece is there still a little bit. There you go. Sometimes you just got to get it at the right angle, and then it comes out a little bit, but there's no like bulge or anything, so it's okay. That's done. That's done. Cool, cool, cool. Yesterday we were talking about if you do want to turn off the sound, and let's say you don't like the jingle, which I grew to like personally. You could just go to settings here, and go one down, print options, and then sounds. You can just turn sounds off. But I like it. I'm gonna keep it. Again, it always reminds me of I'm running some Bambu Lab reliable printers, and it just gives a little positive feeling. But yeah, I'm gonna get the print started here. All right, let's start with number 1. Since it's the left one, get the left latch. Right. Down here, same thing. Left. And ooh, we got a little maintenance face right there. Let's see what we've got to do here. The accelerometer data is unavailable. The communication connection to the tool head may be broken. Oh, well, that's not good. Or the accelerometer may be damaged. Okay. I gotta contact Bambu Labs about that. So I just went ahead and I restarted the machine, and that message went away. Let's see if it'll come back during this print. Hopefully it's a non-issue. And yeah, we're gonna start that print. Again, I just turn off the lights, so I don't really need them, and get all 4 printers started. And you see how that light just turned on again because the print started. I just wish I could turn these off permanently. If anybody knows how to turn it off permanently, That would be great. Meaning it won't turn on with every print. That would be awesome. There is one thing I want to talk about with build quality versus the CR-10 SE. So the Crealities, they use this sort of gantry system where it's these sort of bars here that are just like a flat black metal bar with holes on the sides, and it's your standard go-to for these gantry bars. But these here seem to be machined specifically for this machine. This may be just like a universal part that can be used, if I'm not mistaken. But when you're building out these Bambu Lab A1s, you really notice the build quality, especially in the gantry here. You pick up this, electronics part where all the electronics are housed and where the build plate is, and it's nice and light. You can tell the build quality is just amazing. When you go to lift this up, this thing is heavy, it's beefy, and it's got a lot of weight to it. And the first time I lifted it up, it's unlike the Crealities that I've built and used, especially the Creality CR-10 SE. This thing is just very, very sturdy. And that's something I wanted to mention because it stood out to me so much when I was building out the machines. And so if you're looking for like something that's really strong and sturdy, I'm really impressed with these. Another cool thing is that this gantry has a metal plate on the bottom, so you could just set it standing up. As opposed to the Creality CR-10 SE, you got to lay it flat until you get it up and put screws on the bottom. And like I said, I got the fifth one with the AMS light set, so I'm gonna be setting that up, and I'll bring you guys along as I open it up, unbox it, and set it up. I'm thinking about setting it up over there. I can just move those filament boxes. But then the question is, where should I put those filament boxes? That's like the only other place I have. I'd have to probably clear out some space over there. But yeah, that's for another time in the very, very near future. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my setup here, about this DeWalt rack. So when I was looking for a rack to use, and this might help you guys if you guys want to pick up some racks, and finding out which one you want to use, I knew that I really wanted a rack that had some of these boards, because a lot of racks, they come with like a graded metal rack that has holes in it, and I knew that I wanted the surface where the 3D printers were going to sit on to be a board, that it just came with it, that I didn't have to go and get some plywood later and put it on top of that fence looking one right here. So I found this DeWalt, and it was really good build quality. But I should probably mention before that, I had purchased one for like $70, $80 from Amazon, and when I got it, it was so flimsy. And it seems like this is what a lot of other people were using for their 3D print farm racks. It seemed that way, but when I got it, it was just so flimsy that, like, literally I think the entire build frame was made of like this type of flimsy material. So I knew that wasn't gonna fly. I ended up returning it. And one thing I had to keep in mind was my space. I have a very limited space. Maybe on camera it looks big, but it's a small space. But nonetheless, it does the job. So I found this one. It was like the perfect size for what I needed it for. It doesn't have like a top rack, which I really didn't want or need. So having just these two shelves and then there's that bottom one there was perfect for what I needed it for. I had purchased it for the Creality CR-10 SE. Turns out these are pretty much the same exact size as those, maybe a tad bit smaller, more compact. As for power, all I got are these little power strips from Harbor Freight. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that store, but we've got a ton of them here in California. I just bought some zip ties from there as well. Zip tied one power strip here and another power strip here, and I have an outlet right over there. Before, when I had the Creality CR-10 SE, there was just one long power strip, and the power cables for the CR-10 SE reached from that printer there as well, all the way to this side of the rack. But the power cables with the A1s are a little shorter, so I had to do this sort of setup. And then I bought like a really short 6-foot orange cable that leads to the outlet and can and that connects over here to the power strip. And that's pretty much my setup here. I was gonna do all these fancy things in the beginning. I had my thoughts set on, hey, I'll 3D print some cool little bucket here so I can keep these tools in there, and I would, but it's literally right behind me, so I didn't end up doing it. Maybe I'll do it in the future. And then I knew I needed to create some sort of system where once it's finished 3D printing, I can pop it into some boxes, so I don't always have to walk back and forth from my workstation to the 3D printing area. And maybe I can show you guys the workstation sometime in the near future. And so I had these boxes from when I was shipping out the Palpatine thrones up there. That's just a variation of it, but I used to sell those. And so I just cut the tops off, put a little notch in it, numbered it, and it ended up fitting perfectly, which is great. And they fit down here like a charm. So I ended up getting this DeWalt rack, and it's built like a tank. I love this rack. I'm really glad I went with this rack. It's even got these diagonal bars here to create triangles and make it a strong, sturdy build. And it really is, especially compared to that last rack that I got for like $70, $80. This one, if I'm remembering correctly, it was under $200. Maybe it was $180. And it was on sale on Amazon, so I snatched it right up. There's one issue, which is a non-issue. I feel like that word's been a zinger word for me. Non-issue is this: the boards are slightly crooked, so there's a gap here, and when you come along, there is no, sorry, my wire got caught. There's a gap here, and then as you come along, the gap closes and then slightly reopens there. But this one's pretty straight. If you take a look at it, it's pretty straight all along. It's only just this top one that does that weird warpage, but again, it's a non-issue, and I'm really happy with this setup. Now that we've had some time to let this print, that error message might have just been a little glitch, because there's no more error message and the print is looking fantastic. Alright guys, that about wraps up this video. Until next time, peace, love, and joy.